pork chops. We're going to be cutting right now. I've got apple, rhubarb, chutney, and this is what I'm going to stuff them with some of the bread that I made the other day. So I think this will be interesting. It'll be a very simple dish to make. We're going to have to cut pockets, and I'll explain how to cut pockets so you don't have to ask the butcher. Sometimes they might charge you extra, other times they don't. But you want the thick pork chops about 1.5 inches thick, I think. We'll measure them so you have a better idea. I won't sit there and just swing it into your direction. What am I thinking about having with this? I'm thinking about having, I think, a collard greens I have, zucchini, and some just plain mashed potatoes today. I think that'd be nice. So we'll get this going and we'll keep moving forward. But good morning to everyone. Now I'm hoping I can fit them into a pan and bake them in the pan so I can make a gravy with this. But we'll just find out and see what I can and cannot do. And this was a rye bread. I know you say a rye bread. Oh, I go there in different directions. I always go in different directions. Now here's my apple I think it's apple rhubarb. Yeah, apple rhubarb chutney. Smells good. So it's going to be different. Most people will chop fresh fruit and stuff, but if you can chutney, and there's a lot of different chutneys out there, what you cannot do. That's how I look at it. Think about what can't you do. Yeah, I'll put this way. We'll save it and try to mix this up nice. Now, if you want to add nuts to this, you can. This is all fruit here. Mincemeat would be good as a stuffing as well, but a lot of people don't think about it. Let me see. I'm deciding if I want to put some nuts in it. Here it is. That's my finger. All healed. Thank you. Duke? D-O-O-K? No, I'm not making cookies. This is a stuffing to go into stuffed pork chops. I'm deciding if I want to add some nuts to it. And I think I'm going to. Maybe I shouldn't. But I do want some nuts in it. So let me get some nuts. I'll put some pecans in it. No, I'm stuffing pork chops today. I have to buy the stuff. I'm going to redo those cookies. I was not happy with those cookies at all. So I'm going to redo those. And why did somebody take a lace cookie recipe and think they could stuff them and put fruit and stuff in them? That you can't do that. And what did I do? With that cookie I was doing yesterday, I threw them all out. It just was not working. I've got to readjust it. And she said, this is the famous, and I'm saying, you are bloody. See, good thing about canning is you can make different mincemeats, you can make different stuffings, you can make, you are so unlimited. The only thing that will stop you is up here. And believe you me, my mother had me almost convinced that I couldn't do it. I know this is going to be delicious. Don't even bother looking at the cookie recipe. We're going to be doing it again. Okay? Now that should be enough. See, it's not a lot that you need. Unless you have a lot of people you're going to do stuffed pork chops with. Now, is there a recipe? The only recipe that I'm using is the apple rhubarb chutney. That's all. Because that was canned. And I canned it and I followed a recipe on that. All right. Now, thick pork chops. Thick pork chops are approximately about 1.5 inches. Okay, that's a thick pork chop. So I'm giving you the actual measurement. So when you say you want pork chops and stuff, they're going to be about 1.5 inches. No, I don't need that. I know this is a boning knife. Do I want to use, but I want to make a small hole in it so the filling doesn't fall out. Yes, I do. Sweet, I do use lard. The stuffing is pecans, some bread that I made. I think it's rye bread, and apple rhubarb chutney. Okay? Do I want to use this with a regular knife? See, I want to make a small hole. You're not supposed to use the boner, but I'm thinking about using the boner so I can make a small opening, because what you have to do, let me turn you. And good morning, Cadden. Some of you asked some very rude questions. All right, you're going to cut a pocket, and you're going to cover it all around this bone here without breaking through, because you've got the whole rib here, right? So you make a pocket here, but you're going to open it all in here, and that's what we're going to stuff. And that's the trick of doing it. So you don't want a big hole in this, because if you do, you end up messing it up. Now, if you ask a butcher to do it, he's going to go whack all the way down. So then when you put the stuffing in, it falls out. The smaller the hole, the more stuffing and the seasonings you can sit there and deal. I don't have to add seasonings to my chutney because I already seasoned it. So on the fat side, or meaty side if you wish, you're going to hit that bone right here. All right, because I've just stabbed it. And you try to keep the hole small, and you run it along the bone. And you're cutting actually right in, you see? You can go right through the bone there. But what you're trying to do is just cut the meat. Okay, I want this hole a little bigger. See, I have the opening there. That's where I'm going to be stuffing it. And you can feel into it if you've gotten all the way to the bone. If you haven't, you go back in and cut it more toward that bone. Okay, I've got to go further in here. Now I've got it here all the way over to here. So I've covered this whole area. This is where I'm going to put the stuffing in, this whole area here. See? But I only cut an opening so wide here to work with. And that's what we're going to stuff. I'm not real good at this, but I understand the dynamics of it. Okay. Okay, I need that hole a little wider. Okay, let me see how this is. I'll go a little lower here. So see, I've actually done it. You can see I've got my finger in here. So I've covered a big area. When you put the hole, you try to put it in the middle where you start the hole. So you have equal amount on both sides. Yes, Paul, I am going to sear them. No, I'm not going to sear them. I'm going to braise them. Searing, you don't have any oil in it. No, mine are going to be braised. I'm going to put a little bit of oil in the pan, and I'm going to braise them. Braise them is the term you're looking for browning, but because there's a stuffing and it is pork, and pork is more lean than you realize at times, especially this cut, because the fat is more on the edge here. I'm just going to braise them in some oil, which means to brown them on both sides. Yes, I'll be doing that, but I'm not searing them. Searing is when you don't have any oil, you have a high heat and you slap them on. Okay. And now you're just going to push, I'm going to put a little bit in at a time. Because pork, if you don't do it right, is always dry. You see me flattening it, so I'm actually pushing the food in by flattening it and holding the hole. I can get it in. Hi, Lisa. OG, Paul. Yes, Paul. All of you, good morning. I hope you had a wonderful evening. All right, we got one done. And you can see I stuffed it, but I didn't overstuff it. I spread that stuffing out. That's why I made a big pocket so I could spread it all the way out. A lot of people, they just do a small section and then you see it bulging like this, really, really wide. And then when you go to cook it, these fillings come out and that's not what you want. Because the meat is going to pull in. And you're going to lose some, but you don't want to lose it all. I went to look for my green tomato mincemeat, But I couldn't find it, so I said, okay, it's in there somewhere. I just can't find it right now. Go down there, go up there. You need more here. No, this recipe is not coming from a cookbook, only the chutney. Okay. I would put that chutney in yogurt, but I had pork on my hands, so I won't do that. I'll throw that out. We're going to salt and pepper these, and then we'll start cooking them. I need my mortar and pestle for this. Here's the pepper. I'm going to turn my oven on to 350. Please take this out. Apple rhubarb chutney with some bread that I made. That's the stuffing. When you sit there and you use, there's so many chutneys or mince meats that you can use as stuffings that you don't get the same when you get in the store. Hello, Mark. Lisa, I used apple rhubarb chutney. Yeah, chutney is usually the West Indians serve next to their curry, and it's sweet. It's a lot of sweets and stuff. And then I added some bread, and I chopped up some pecans because I wanted some nuts in it. But chutney is a side dish for curries. Remember, when you salt high, because if you salt low, you get clumps of salt instead of getting a wide spread. So you go high and it spreads out and you get more of a level to your salt, which is what you want. We'll add some pepper, same way. We'll turn them over and we'll do the same thing. And remember, apples go so excellent with pork. It really does. So an apple rhubarb would be very, very unusual stuffing. Though I'm sure if you come from a family where there's a lot of canning, they'd say, oh yeah, I've done that too. we can do it. No, pork, P-O-R-K, pork chops. So it's pecan, apple, rhubarb, chutney, and some bread that I made. I think it was the rye bread that I showed you. And this is what I have left on it, on one loaf. But I only took a little of it. Okay. Just gonna finish this pepper up. And since I have more of this chutney, I'm gonna try it in yogurt and see how it is this morning. Good morning, Shelly, Snoop, pork, P-O-R-K, the pig. Okay. That's my frying pan. Okay, Sandra, where did they put it? I don't know where they put it. Now, for those of you that ask lard, if you think shortening is lard, it is not. It's oils from a lot of vegetables, and then what they do is they put a retarder or something to hold it together. I don't know how they do it. And if you check, they will have a preservative in it as well, which causes it. Now, when you make lard, you take the fat and you cook it down until it's a liquid. Now, I do have lard in the refrigerator, and if you leave it out, it stays liquid unless it's in a cool spot. You put it in a cool spot and it's hard as a rock. So I said, okay, well, we're gonna have some problems here. So I'm putting about a tablespoon of oil. I'll get you over here because we're gonna brown these, well, braise them. I say brown because a lot of people don't know what the word braise means. Snoop, you're crazy. Robert, you want to go political on this channel? You know this is a cooking channel. Okay. So we're going to wait for this. And I'm using this pan so I can bake in it. And when I take it out, I'm hoping to make a gravy. So I want my drippings from it. Should be interesting. But you notice I'm not adding any seasonings but salt and pepper on this because I want that chutney to bring all those flavors out. So we're going to wait till this oil simmers. I have baking dishes, but I wouldn't be able to put them here, and that's why. Hi, Mona, Snoop, Steve, Robert. Okay? Robert, if you don't believe that I can't cook, then why don't you just leave? All right. Okay, Steve, if you wish to. Just waiting for this to shimmer, which is like a heat wave you can see coming over it. Hi, Rolling. Layla. Okay, we'll see. I have to lay these right to get these to fit in here. So this is braising. You have oil in your pan. Searing, you have no oil and have it at a much higher heat. But we're braising these, which just means that we're just going to be browning them and sort of sealing the moisture in on one side, and don't turn them over for the other. Lisa, you're right about that. Oh, this does smell good. Okay. Well, tell your cat that he cannot eat pork, okay? Mona? Good morning, Benny from Dallas, Texas. Now, for the lady who wants to know what I'm having, I've got some plain yogurt that I made, and I'm going to put some of this chutney in it and use it as a flavoring for breakfast. I told you I eat all sorts of crazy things. And you say, you can't do that. Yes, I can. If I make my own yogurt, well, make my own chutney. Why not put it together? When you have this much fruit and stuff, you don't want to waste it. That is good. I didn't think chutney would go good with yogurt, but it does. And you can see the stuffing is not coming out of them. Yes, this is a cooking channel. I'm from America, Benny, and we're doing pork chops stuffed with chutney. But you can see the stuffing isn't just coming all out, and that's what you stop. No, this is homemade yogurt with the apple rhubarb chutney that I canned. So I said, why not just put it together and have it for breakfast? So we're having breakfast. No, I'm having yogurt. Thank you, Kevin. Gary? Yeah, I took some of the chutney and I put it into a plain yogurt that I made. You don't see a ring on my finger because my husband's deceased. And that's how I eat breakfast when I'm cooking dinner. I don't have time to actually make something for me. So I grab what I can, whatever I'm working with, and put it together. Or I'll just grab a glass of milk. No, this is my chutney and my yogurt. It's a chutney I canned in 2024. My son said, Mommy, this is, I said it's still good. The lid bubble didn't pop, so it's still good, so why not? I wanted to use mincemeat, but I can't find it in my pan. No. A bronze medal, thank you very much. Oh, wait a minute. Knowledge, thank you very much for supporting. Okay, now you know the sugar's going to burn on this, right? But as you can see, the stuffing did not come out. Okay, hold on. No, I don't want to add that in. Let me... Okay, I'm going to put bone broth in this because I want to cover for our minerals. So I'm going to add some in. Only because I know they'll say boil it. No, I'm not going to boil it. Just poured it in. I'm going to be putting this into the oven, but I have to cover this. So I've browned them and I've got some bone broth in there. So I'm going to make 2 sheets of this. Now you're dealing with a hot pan, so do be careful when you do this, please. You should listen to your own advice, Sandra. I don't have lids for some of these pans. I never did finish getting all my cooking equipment together, so I compensate for what I have to do. Now I'm going to bake these until they're done. Okay? I don't know how long this is going to take. I'm going to have to watch them. And remember, you have to be careful cooking with pork. You don't want those tapeworms that you can get from this. Okay? I don't know how long that's going to take. I have no idea. Liver and onions, we just had that. Yeah. And the reason I put the lid on it is so it doesn't dry. That's why I put the foil over it. You don't want it to dry out. I gotta finish this. And then I'm gonna it's Surge. Yeah, good liver. We just had beef liver and bacon and a tomato sauce. Yeah, no, it's bone broth. I cook bones down and make a bone broth, and I use it like I use my stocks. What you get in the store is so, I was reading it. I said, nah, it's nothing like they get the flavor of the bones because bones really don't have a flavor. They sit there and add the vegetables and stuff, so you'll buy it. But mine isn't. Mine's flat. But I got all the minerals that I was looking for until I cooked it until I could stab the bones and put a knife through them or break them with my hands. Once I can do that, I know I pulled the minerals out. This will keep me going. I'm gonna have a mess here to clean. Okay. Now these mashed potatoes I am going to keep. Louisville, what do you mean, Sean? It's a kind of worm that you can get from eating raw pork. And I'm not sure of what kind of worm it is. I don't know what they call it. You could get tapeworm. We were taught that. I don't, but I'm not sure. But anyway, we were taught to always make sure that our pork is thoroughly cooked. But it's actually a worm that lives on the pig. Let's see a pan. Corn potatoes. Yeah, the small cup should be fine. Sometimes you'll read old recipes and some new ones. They'll say a saucepan. A saucepan always has a long handle on it and a lid. Okay? Hope you understand. Now I'm going to scrub this. Serge, no, I'm making mashed potatoes to go with the pork chops. And then I'm going, I think I've got collard greens. And I'll cook those. And I'm thinking of serving pickled pumpkin that I can. And they're very good, very mild. I was surprised. They came out really nice. So that's what we're going to have. And soup, I don't know what you're talking about. So you're probably trying to get me off track. I just be stupid on the channel. So you shouldn't do that. That's really wrong. So these potatoes will have their skin on them. Like I told you, I only got 2 recipes so far that says I have to do that. Potato pancakes with maple syrup. Oh, never heard of that. Serge. Just a few potatoes, I should be fine. Now, last time I made mashed potatoes, I sat there and I saved potato water. That was the bread that I made with it. And that was the same bread that I sat there and stuffed the pork chops with the chutney. Excuse me. What time is it? Nighttime. Can't you see the sun hasn't come up yet? 6:28. Now, because I'm going to leave my peels on. Yes, Serge. Derek, thank you. Now, because I'm leaving the peeling on these potatoes, I don't leave them in big chunks, so you'll have big chunks of skin all over the potatoes. So I dice them really small. So they'll cook quickly. I'll hold the water. I might stick it in the refrigerator because I don't have any bread to make at this moment. So I'm hoping I can get a gravy, but if I can't get a gravy with it, that's all right too with dinner tonight. I cook early because I have a family that works crazy hours, so I have to sit there and pack dinners for everybody. Some eat really late at night, other ones eat in the middle of the afternoon, and sometimes they eat in the morning. So it's a very crazy schedule. I don't have a normal schedule in this house. I've never had a normal schedule in my home. We're not a 9 to 5 family. No, we're everything else trying to make it work. So I eat what I can on the run, which you saw this morning, yogurt with some chutney in it. And while I'm cooking a meal, sometimes you'll see me drinking a glass of buttermilk or something. That's my breakfast most of the time. But if I have time to sit down, I make myself a very nice breakfast. I'll pull bries out. I might pull a steak out, homemade breads and stuff, and fruit. I love to have fruit for breakfast. But I'll always have a glass of milk. I won't start my day with coffee. I don't like starting my day with coffee. I didn't even have coffee till I was what? I was, what, 20? I think 20? It all started because I went out to eat with my husband and I asked for a glass of milk. And he said, Sandy, you can't do that. I said, but I like milk. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean, He said, but you look young. They'll think I'm dating a child. And I said, but I'm 20. 12 past 21. I've always had that problem somewhat. People don't like to see people drinking with milk, but I don't care. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to get. So if you're going to leave the peelings on, give them a good scrub. Make sure you dice them extremely small so the pieces of the skin won't be so large. It will also give you an earthy taste to your mashed potatoes, which isn't unusual. But the skin of the potatoes is what your hair needs to keep gray down. But people are graying early. Like I listen to these things that are sold. I do know that when I wore makeup, it dries your skin out because you have to wash your skin so much in cleansers and lotions and stuff. So the more makeup you wear, the drier your skin's going to get, the older it's going to get, and you're going to have black blotches on it. Because don't think the makeup you put on your face doesn't get into your bloodstream. Because you sweat those pores open, it's going to go right in. Okay, that should be about that time in my head. If you use Eastern potatoes, the flavor isn't as strong as Idaho potatoes. So if you want to use the skin and not get the strongest flavor of the skin, Eastern potatoes are milder with the skin. Go slow when you're learning to handle a knife, okay? If you hold it like this, it can tilt left and right. You don't have a control over it. So you sit there and you put your finger here and your other finger here and you clamp this around. You've got total control of your knife, okay? Now, when you have your hand like this, please go slow learning this. I've cut my hands enough time and I'm not fast yet. So you're going to put your hands like this because the knife has to slide this way, you see? So as you go this way, it's guiding. That's how it works. But hold your knife like this because if you hold it any other way, it can slip and you can cut your fingers. And go slow. You see, I have the whole body touching my knuckle, rubbing here. But my finger isn't straight. It's a little bent in like this, you see? So it doesn't get nicked. Chefs move so fast you can't see it. They just go ch-ch-ch, and that's it. And if you take a look at the motion you're doing, you're not doing the wrist here. The motion is this way. This way. So you're actually using your shoulder where you have more control. So take your time using a knife. Thank you, Crunchy. And when you do it like that, you'll notice that you also have level cuts. And it's called prepping. When you're prepping, you try to get everything. When they say they want it a certain size, make sure you get the cuts that size as much as possible. Because if you have large cuts and small cuts, like when you're doing certain things, you'll notice that when you saute them, you'll notice some are overcooked, some start to bend, and the other ones aren't cooked to the point where you need them to be. This is why they teach you to sit there and try to get them as close as you can to the same size. I'm not going to say get them the same size. I'll sit there and say try to get them as close as you can. All right? And the sharper your knife, the better. So every time you use it, you wash it, dry it, sharpen it. Unless you have a lovely husband who is very good at sharpening knives, he can do it once a week and you'll be fine. Oh, gee, you can sit there, and I don't believe you because you're laughing. Anybody can do it. I have a mentally and physically disabled girlfriend, and I showed her how to use it. She said, I'm afraid of knives. I said, don't be afraid of knives. You've got to learn to hold it. Then you are in control. If you don't have control of the knife, you have a problem. And I'm very quick because I'm Italian. I talk with my hands. One time my father-in-law came down to the kitchen and said, Sandy, I want to talk to you. And I was in the middle of chopping. I said, yes, what do you want? And he said something. I said, no, you got that all wrong. I'm talking with my hands. And he said, Sandy, would you quit waving the knife at me? I said, what are you talking about? He said, the knife. He kept on motioning the knife. And I didn't realize I had it in my hand because I was just working. Hi, Teeny. I'm going to have to turn you guys up while I'm dicing this up so I can read some of these because I can't. Crunch, thank you very much. Hamza, I think I said that. Hamza. And let me continue. I've just got 1.5 more potatoes to go. Okay, I don't like this part. Now, if you don't want to use milk in your potatoes, we could try sour cream. Don't be afraid. You could use cream cheese. As you can see, there's a whole lot of things we can do. All we have to do is get over our nervousness and move forward. If you're unsure of creating your recipes or changing recipes around, then sit there and you could take some of mine that I've used to help you, and you can see. Good morning, S, because it's evening for you. You use mayo, Axe? Okay. It's in the same vein. It's a lot of oil. I make mayonnaise, I should know. I think I might use sour cream on this, because everybody likes baked potatoes with sour cream, right? So why not mashed potatoes? See? But no butter? Yeah, you can add some butter if you want. Remember, your body does need fat. Most of the people that are heavy isn't from the oil and the butter. It's from all that sugar and pre-made foods, pre-made meals. I walk through the freezer department. I might pick up frozen peas, frozen chopped spinach if I have to. That's pretty much it, unless I find something. I walk past it. I used to get frozen orange juice at the store, but now they're not carrying it. And yet I use frozen orange juice all the time. So my son goes to another store and picks it up for me. And it's stupid. I'm a consumer. If you want my business, you should get me what I'm asking for. You know? Yeah, that's all right. And I have some Jerusalem artichoke that I had turned into a powder. I am wondering, should I add this to it? Because Jerusalem artichokes is insulin, natural insulin, and it is part of the potato family. I have a little bit left. I only harvest every other year, which is better for me. I'm going to see if I can do that. You only fill the water up about an inch above. These potatoes will cook very, very quickly because I have them diced so small. You know, yes, I'm here. Yes, Taffy, I'm here. You got food all over your nose. My cat. Axe, that sounds good. My bacon's frozen, so I can't do that. Yeah, that's my kitty on the back. You want to see who's here? Well, your face is dirty. Do you mind? You want to say hi to everybody? There, you can say hi to everybody, but you're not getting any closer because I'm cooking. See, you're going to say hi? He's looking for more food. Now that's all you get. You got to say hi. Don't get upset. Okay, what do I want to do? Oh, Jerusalem artichoke powder. So I'm going to use, this is Jerusalem artichoke powder that I made. I harvested the Jerusalem artichokes. I sat there and I scrubbed them clean, and then I grated them, put them in my dehydrator and dehydrated them, then threw them into my spice blender, and I made it into a powder so I can use it. I know he doesn't need any more. Thank you. Hey, Tat thinks you're a cute kitty. We're making stuffed pork chops with apple, rhubarb, chutney, and some pecans. I'm making mashed potatoes. I'm thinking of making sour cream mashed potatoes. And I left the peelings on, but I diced it very small. Now, we braised the pork chops after we stuffed them. And then I put foil over the pan, the same pan I put on the stove to braise them on both sides. Then went into the oven, and I poured a little bit of beef broth on it. Bone broth to make sure that we get our minerals and stuff. I don't want to lose those. That causes arthritis. And I'm going to add some Jerusalem powder, I think a tablespoon or two, which will help the body. So I do things like this. Yes. Ham, yes. Yes, I have to pack dinners today. Yeah, I saw the food on his nose, but he won't let me get to it right now, so I'm not going to do that. Oh, that would be very nice, E.T. Okay, let me go ahead and get the sour cream and stuff up. Okay, here's my sour cream. And we need salt and pepper I've got, and we're going to need some butter. Now that should be enough butter. Well, if I need more, I can always get more. Okay. All right, that's gotta go there. I need that. What greens do I, you know? I tell you, fruits and stuff do not last like they used to. Minerals usually used to keep our vegetables very, very fresh, but they go within a week's time, so you're accustomed that that's a long time. That's how vegetables are. Vegetables used to last a lot longer than that. Yeah, collards. Hi, Julie. Good morning, Monica. Tam. Hi, Julie. I am doing well, thank you very much. OG. Snoop, I'm making pork chops, not steak. Get it straight, okay? I gotta clean this up a bit. So while those potatoes are getting ready, I'll go ahead and get the collards going. I'm not cooking my collards in bacon. I'm just going to use oil because my bacon's in the freezer and I just don't feel like sitting around waiting for it to defrost. Because if you put it in the refrigerator, it goes bad before I get to all of it. So I keep mine in the freezer all the time. No, Taffy. I'm going to have to clean your nose later and you're not going to like that. So I'll wrap you in a towel. That's the only way I can get it done. So that's what we're going to be doing. Okay. So I'm going to cook these collards. I'd like to cook them in bacon. They'd be delicious in bacon, but you'd be sitting around for 2 hours waiting for my bacon to defrost. I might buy some more bacon from the store just so they can sit there and have that I can cut and chop up into pieces and cook with, and leave the other one that I get at Sayerbrook. And listen, you gotta try it in the wild boar. It's really something. I was surprised. Now I have to clean all of these. Yes, I'm cooking. Ham? Oh, okay. Now, you know collard leaves are very, very large, so we're going to have to split these. I'm trying to see what the biggest ones see. They do. And this is a small one, because some of them come larger than this, so we're going to have to rinse them and split them down so we can sit there and cook them. Now that's funny. When I buy collards, I can get a lot of collards for a little bit of money. But when it comes to other greens, you get the smallest little patches of them. And you pay more for them or the same price. Oh, look who we have here. You froze. Of course you did. It was cold. Do be very careful with your greens. You will find ladybugs, little insects. For people who don't like to risk their vegetables, you should. So if you want to be different in your cooking and be experimental, you have to get in there and quit buying instant foods. But it's mostly a choice of cooking or not cooking. And women would rather hold a job than get into the kitchen because they don't know how to cook and they don't want you to know they can't cook. So now they make instant stuffings to put into a turkey. You can buy canned vegetables, cranberry sauce. All right, we're getting the holiday together, so she didn't have to buy the bread or the stuffing. Then all she has to do is open a can of yams, add some sugar and butter, or whatever else she wants to add to it. And she'll buy a pie at a pastry place or at the store, frozen pie or cake. And then she's going to come to Thanksgiving dinner and say, look what I made. I'd like to know what she made. You know? Yes. Hi, Danielle from France. That's a lot of collards. Okay, they're rinsed. Okay, I need a board to cut this on. I have made a mess under you. You could see what was under your legs. Farmer's market first. Okay. Okay, we're going to line these up because I have to cut these leaves. We got to trim the bottom too. Collard greens are very good for you. But the way my aunt made them, I wasn't ever going to eat collard greens. I mean, she really Oh my God, how she did it. She poured bacon grease from the back of the stove. And I know about that, that's why. And she would pour that into a pan. And then she'd throw bacon in there and cook it. Then she'd sit there and have, she would cook okra and collard greens together. And she would pour and fill the pot, a big pot, half full of water. Now that she's thoroughly using rancid oil, and then on top of that, she sits there and pours, she cooks the bacon. I didn't mind the bacon being cooked. And then she had to put the okra with the collard greens. Ugh. She didn't use salt, so you had to salt it when you got to the table, but the bacon already covered that department. And that's how she served. So collard greens and I did not get along, only from her cooking. And she said, "Isn't that good?" I was polite. I told her it was interesting. I was not going to tell her it tastes like, you know. All right, this is the first set. Okay. Don't say anything about the knife. The knife has the starch from it. Bacon grease is what is on the back of the stove. Southern women keep it in a container at the back of the stove and cook with it. The reason I don't like the grease in the back of the stove is people don't know oils can go rancid. People leave their oils in the cabinets and stuff. There's linoleic acids in those things that your body needs. And if you leave them out, they go rancid. And then when you eat them, it affects your liver. Then your liver can't function very well to send the enzymes and everything out because it's poison to it. It's rotted food. It's like having ptomaine, except you don't go through a major crisis, but your liver goes through a major crisis. So I say, if you want to collect the bacon grease and leave it and use it, please put it in the refrigerator. Now, if my oil smokes, I'm throwing it out because I have burnt everything out of it. And it's rancid at that point. Well, you could say burnt. Does anybody like a burnt hamburger? Come on, be honest. You know you wouldn't. Okay. Got the potatoes boiling. So that's the difference. Bacon grease. The bacon grease from fresh bacon, and you're cooking it and you're adding something to it, because I do have recipes that say do the bacon, take the bacon bits out, and then in that fat you're going to cook it. But I will not use the fat from the back of the stove range top that people leave sitting there. So I always recommend, because I hear people say, oh, just put it on the back of the stove, just like this, and just use it whenever you want. My mother did that, and she noticed all of us were getting sick, and she quit doing it. And when she found out what it did, she tried to explain it to my grandmother, but they didn't get along. My mother didn't get along with her in-laws. I got along with my in-laws. I thought they were beautiful people. His great aunt and all. I enjoyed them tremendously. And so please, if you're going to use bacon grease, and I have to admit, yes, bacon grease has very good flavor. All right, but I'm not using it unless I'm using bacon. But I won't hold it. And if it smokes, it gets thrown out. Any oil that smokes. And I have to cook something and it's going to smoke when I get done, I won't use it. So as you can see, one batch of collard greens is a lot of greens. I'm not making fried chicken, Snoop. See, you have collard greens with fried chicken. You already set it up, but that's how it's served to you, so that's how you expect it. With me, I'm going to always serve different combinations and things together. Oh God, does that smell good? Let's see. Oh, I know you're going to fit in this. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. My mom is British and during the war. Yeah, they had to. There was rations at the time. You had to use everything that you had during the war. It wasn't easy. Okay, I gotta get you over here. I know the potatoes are cooking. I'll get to them soon enough. I gotta get the collard greens going. Did this melt yet? Let's see. You're just going to put a little oil in here. I'd say a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon, and that's it. Okay. Now, if you were using bacon, you'd put the bacon, dice the bacon up, and cook it and let the bacon fat cook out. And then when the bacon bits are crispy, you sit there and throw the collard greens in. You toss them around and let that oil cook them and coat them. They get that lovely color that you want. And then you add a little bit of water because you're cooking greens. You don't need to drown them in water. Don't tell me you don't do it. I've seen enough people do it. And you'll take that water and you throw it out. And all the nutrients go flying with it. But you get a lot of bulk. So my cooking might take a little longer. But if you want to cook, you'll cook. If you want to learn, you'll learn. If you just want to observe, you'll observe. But what you love to do, you will put your whole heart into it and you'll go out of your way. Okay? Come on, we're going to need you hot because I got to put these in here. I think I'm going to need a little more oil. I'm watching how it's coating on the bottom. I bet you these potatoes are done. If not, they're very close to it. They're done, but I've got to take care of the collards first. Now I'm waiting for this to simmer a bit. So if you can get your children to eat yogurt when they're young, you'll be helping them a lot. I never heard of that dish. Yeah, you could. Kathy, okay. I had heard of that tap. I've never had it. And good morning, Shane. Careful, you will get caught. Not gonna lie to you. And we're gonna stir this around and cook it down. Dang, I got a lot of dishes this morning. using and turn beautiful green and wilt nicely. And then we'll add some water. And when you test it, you'll stab the stem, the thick part here, and you twist the knife, and if it separates easy, you've got it. And then we'll get to these potatoes, these sour cream mashed potatoes. And we're going to use some dry Jerusalem artichoke powder in it. Now, you don't need a large plot to grow Jerusalem artichokes. You see they're cooking down and turning green, a beautiful green. I put in about 1/4 of an inch, okay? That's exactly what I've got, just about 1/4 of an inch. Once it starts to boil, I'm going to turn it down to simmer. I'm not adding salt because I'm going to use the liquid in a stock. So you can see how I try to use everything I have. That's going to boil, and we're going to turn that way, way down. Just want to make sure it's fully boiling, then we're going to take care of those potatoes. Okay. I have never used any of that or made that dish. Okay, it's boiling. I'm going to turn this way down. I mean way, way down. Because what you want to do is keep that water hot. So when you turn it down, it's still going to be simmering, which is a slow boil. And it steams those vegetables very, very nicely. That way, by the time they're done, you should even have less water in there, and they'll be done. So you're not cooking the nutrients out, you're bringing them to the table. That's the whole object of trying to cook, to get the nutrients to come to the table. So when you eat them, you're getting the nutrients. But remember, you also have to come to the table in a nice frame of mind, wanting to eat. If there's arguments and there's anger or worry and stuff, you're better off just drinking some hot water, get away from the table till you calm down, and then come and eat and enjoy the meal. Because anger can disrupt your digestive system as much as anything else. I'm really thirsty this morning. I guess it's the yogurt. Okay, let's see. How can I swing this? Let's see if I can put this here. I'm trying to move stuff around, believe it or not. All right. Get a measuring cup. Get a strainer here, we'll take care of these potatoes. Because I didn't add water, I can use this water to cook. Now, the last potatoes I made had garlic in them. And so if you're wondering, how did the garlic go when I made the bread? Well, the bread tastes delicious, so it's evident that little bit of garlic in the water did not affect. Now you're going to strain this. Now you can see the potatoes are still moist, right? What you're going to do is you're going to put them back in the pan. You're going to turn the heat on. Wait a minute, I got to move some pots here. You're going to stir it around until you get a film on the bottom, because we're going to dry these potatoes out so they won't be so watery when we're trying to make our mashed potatoes. And stir them around, and when you see the film on the bottom, you'll see the potatoes are dry. This water is going to be saved for bread or rolls. Stir the potatoes to make sure they don't burn. I know I should be over there, but I got to get my mat. So when you see a film on the bottom, you know you dried your potatoes out. I'm starting to get the film now. And that's how you dry your potatoes out, so they're not so watery, so you can add more flavoring to it. Oh, rabbit's good too. Stuffed pork chops. Wicked, we're not talking politics. Okay. I got the film. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can get this pot up. You see that film in the corner? Right there? That's what you're looking for. Then you know your potatoes are dry. Yeah, those are going quite nicely. Let's see. Health. Healthy Wicked. Now, I cannot run this through a ricer because I have skin on it. And they're small, but they will clog it up. But they cook so tenderly, you don't even have to worry. Now, I am going to put... I want to use 1 tablespoon of Jerusalem artichoke powder. You cannot buy this in the store. You literally have to grow this plant and make this. I have some butter here, about 2 tablespoons, so I guess I'll go ahead and put that in, and we'll start stirring it around to get it melted. Well, these potatoes are not going to look snow white, but they will have an earthy taste to them because I left the peelings on. But remember, if you use Maine potatoes, it's milder. If you use Idaho like I have, it's a stronger flavor. Hi, Margie, sorry. And good morning. Where's James? James should be here. He's disappeared today. I guess you love that biscuit recipe, so he took off with it. Okay. Okay, we're going to put sour cream in this time. We're going in different directions today. Hi, Post from Florida. Good morning, and how are you? Ashley, how? Easy to support me, guys. Don't come on here and have your own paid channel and ask for that. They'll find you if you want. That is just rude and piggybacking. Okay, we're going to check these collard greens. Do like I showed. I need my paring knife. I've got knives today. I've already got 4 out. I'll be right with you. I got to check these. Oh yeah, you guys are done. We'll get to those in a bit. I can't believe how dirty I get. I'm doing salt and pepper now because I know they are. I've got to make my kelp mixture again. I'm going to tell you. Salt and pepper to taste. And that's something you're going to have to make that judgment call on. I cannot for you on that recipe. Nor can I do the pepper because I'm a little heavy-handed with my pepper. Have a good day, Tap. Wishing you the very best. Good morning, Mr. Goth. Thank you, Shane. Good morning, Sherry. Okay, gotta get back to reading. I like them that way too, with chives. They're very good. I have a recipe for it. Jason and Cheryl, good morning. Okay. Guys, move very quick. I have to hustle. Just remember, I'm sort of heavy-handed on black pepper. And you can see the skins are on. I'm not going to complain. It tastes good. I'm happy. See, women used not to salt. They had the salt at the table, and you salted according to your taste. I guess mothers would salt the little ones' dishes. You don't find salt and pepper very often on the table. New York. Yes. Oh, gee, Sean, the skins are very, very healthy for your hair. It keeps your hair from graying. I premature grayed. I think I was 7, 8 years old. I started graying. I was very upset about it. But my grandmother explained what it was, and I wasn't disappointed with it anymore. My mother used to peel the skin off the broccoli, cauliflower, and everything. My aunt hated tomato skins. And then I noticed everybody was peeling everything, and I read about the skin of the vegetables and stuff, like seeds. There's 2 chemicals in seeds that prevent cancer. And that was funny, because in a reading from the ARE, Casey had mentioned 4 almonds a day, which are seeds. 3 almonds or 4 almonds a day can keep cancer away. And believe you me, I eat my seeds. So if you're eating an apple, you can eat the core and the seeds, you know. I'm not telling you to eat a ton of them at one sitting or anything, you know. Like people say, I hear some of these people say some stupid stuff. Peanuts. You cannot eat. It's not for us. Well, peanut has a very specific acid that the human body needs. So they should be careful what they say. I am thirsty this morning. Yeah, they would be, Lodi. Oh, you have a few minutes. We're going to have to wait. The sun is coming up, so it's going to be a bit cloudy. Okay, we got the potatoes done. We'll check those pork chops soon enough. Got my collard greens done. They're a beautiful color. Oh, what the heck. It's all going in the same place. You guys better fit, because I don't have any bowls. I got to get more bowls. Ow, 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 ow. I'm thinking. I should get another. Let me see if I can rinse this off. I've got too many dishes here to clean. I'm going to show you how much fluid is left from all that I did. And here are the collard greens, okay? Here's all the fluid from what I poured into it. I'll pour it into a glass so you can actually see it. That's all that's left. I managed with so little water to cook, and this will be put into my stock because I don't want to waste it, because those are nutrients. Because you can see it's not clear anymore, so those are your nutrients in there. People don't think about it. I have a little bit of whey in this, so I'll just finish this one up. I am 73. 73. So I don't want to waste this. And I cook with my stocks, so I just keep on adding. I don't want to lose the nutrients, so when I use the whey, I'll have those collard greens, nutrients in there. And I didn't cook them all out because you can see how green they are. You see that dark green, so I did a good job. And by using that, there is no waste in the collard greens. Now, for the compost, when spring comes, I'd have these. Now, if I run out of vegetable stocks, I will sit there and take a lot of these ends that we cut off and the peelings of onions and stuff, and I'll store them in a bag in the freezer. When it gets full, I'll use my slow cooker and cook it for 24 hours under low, and then I will sit there and I will can them. But I've got so many vegetable stocks in the house, I don't have to worry about that. But when I do, we start collecting those. So everything is used one way or another. Thank you very, very much. Those are very nice compliments. All right, so we've just got to wait for the pork chop. That's what we're waiting for now. But I want you to see, is there some waste in the kitchen? Yes. But if you have fresh vegetables and stuff and you have a yard, from spring straight through till the ground gets below 32, you can bury it out in your garden or in one area and save a lot of money. Now, I know this is a shitty topic to talk about, but if you have cats that go outside, they will dig into the yard, they will move their bowels, and they'll, or a dog, they will end up fertilizing your yard as well. So there's really no waste. Life is set up in a cycle that seems to be, and I'll say seems to be, though I know it is, it's balance, counterbalance, very well. Yeah, it's almost, it's a point. Once it gets a little higher, you won't get the glare that you're getting. But I just have to clean things, and we have to check the pork chop. I don't even know how long it's been, but we're going to find out. Okay, this can go, this can go, this can go. These go here underneath you, and we're moving right along. Remember, a clean area is a safe area. When my sons were first walking into the kitchen, everything, they just left everything. I said, you need a clean area to work. That's very nice of you, Positive. Ashy, yeah, you saw the kitty. Oh, you must be in the Midwest somewhere? Pack? Snoop? Okay, we're going to have to check these. I need a mat to put this on. Remember, I'm going to show you one more time to make sure. I'll turn the light on this. Never go down like this, because you can tilt that pan. Go under and bring it out. I just want to make sure I keep my hands safe. Always, always remember that. I don't know if these are done, so I'm going to move you over here. We're going to check them. And if they're not done, they're going back in. The only thing I keep on forgetting is the handle is hot. That's my thing. Now, if you're going to use a frying pan like this, You cannot use a nose stick. You cannot use one that has a wooden handle or a plastic handle. It'll melt in the oven. It has to be completely metal. Cast iron would be great, but I don't think they come this big, so I can't. Hi, Sherry Chavez. It's California. It's 4. Yeah, that's early over there. Oh, I can't see anything. Oh, hold on. My glasses fogged up. No, Rob, I am not. Well, we're fixing this. It smells really, really good, but we've got to check this. What did I do with repairing that? I can't find anything in my own kitchen. Okay. Okay, they're done. Now some stuffing came out, but very, very little, which is nice. I'm happy to see that. I'll push it back in. I can do that with a knife. Part of it in. Because the meat tightens up, you know, so you're always going to lose some. But let me put this up. Jesus, that is, I told you, I'll burn myself. I'm very good at it. Where do I want to put this on? Let's see. Use this one's bigger. Now, when you think of meals, you should think of color combinations. As you can see, I have this lovely brown here, right? Just hear me out. Look at all the color combination. That would make you want to be hungry. That's how you have to use color as well. The kitchen is a very creative place. It's also a place where you can really express yourself more ways than one. Okay. So think about it. It's a place where you can express, be creative. I always try to let people know that the kitchen is not a terror zone, you know. And the people who live close to me, they can come to my door and they ask me for help. I help them to the best of my ability. This is going to have to go this way. Okay. I don't need you there. We're getting this ready to put gravy over it, but see, it's already on the platter. Just give me a minute. I've got a few things to do. I want to put this in a measuring cup. See how much fat I've got in here and the drippings. Let's see if we can make a lovely gravy out of this. Now the sugar and the fruit should give it a sweetness. Not only do you have to think of different flavors going on in your mouth when you prepare a meal, you've got to think of that color combination as well, which excites everybody. So there's a lot that goes into it. Though a lot of people say, oh, you just do this, this, and this. Sure, you could buy stuff and just throw it on the plate, but it's not inviting. And like I said, do be careful. I don't want you to get burnt. I've already burnt myself. I'm going to strain this a little more. Though it's been out, I still grab underneath because I don't want to get burnt. how much fat we have here in a minute. And then we'll know exactly what we have to do. We just have to wait. No, I did not get all of the bits out of my frying pan. Only the big ones that were the fruit that I had done. Okay. And no, I do not have one of those things you squeeze to separate the drippings from the grease. Okay. So we have 1/4 cup. And I need to get that off because that's what I need to cook with. Let's see, what can I do with that? Later might do it. Yeah, we'll try it later. What I'm going to try to do, if I do not have the time, and I don't think you want to sit around for 2 hours doing nothing, I'm going to separate this and get this back in this pan. It's still pretty warm. So I'm going to separate it and get the grease in here so we can, I've got 1/4 of a cup, so that's about 4 tablespoons I'm going to need, maybe 2. Oh, took a lot on that one, didn't I? This is how we used to have to do it before. Push a spoon in slowly and get as much fat off as you can. You're not going to get it all, but you do the best you can. Oh, God. Okay. Am I ever going to get it down low enough? This takes a little bit of time. I'm just pressing a ladle in and just trying to catch as much fat as I can. Okay? Might not be doing the greatest. But like I said, I don't have all the equipment to make it easy, so I know these old ways, so I can pretty much swing them. Only because I know how. Let's see. That's still too hot to handle when I put those pot holders here. Okay. When you think of what women used to do and how much easier it is today. I remember Julia Childs showing us this. Well, I don't know if I'm making headway on this thing. Let's see, how much do I have here? I still need another tablespoon. We're working on getting it out as much as we can. I'm trying to get as much fat without getting the drippings because the drippings come after. What it shows and what I'm getting to, yeah, I know you're getting very low. I got most of it. All right, we're going to turn this on. And we're going to conceal it. Do be careful. If you're using these frying pan, the handles are hot. See, I don't have baking dish. I could bake it and then put a pan right there and do it. I have to do it this way, a little different. But this is like going backwards. If you don't have the equipment, you have to know the old ways so you can maneuver with what you have. Like at the hunting camp, my mother did not have measuring spoons, so I had to learn that the teaspoon that they used for coffee was the teaspoon, and a baby spoon was half a teaspoon, and a quarter teaspoon was for the salt. And a tablespoon was your soup spoon that you ate the soup with. Okay, flour, flour, flour everywhere. Measuring spoon. Yes, I did. Okay. If you have trouble with lumps, a whisk is very handy for it. Believe you me, I should know. Yeah, you can taste the fruit with the pork. So if you're going to add anything to this, the only thing you want to add to this would be salt and pepper. Be careful. You don't want to lose the flavor of the apple in it. Okay? If that helps you at all. And no wheat flour. Let's see, that's Sandra. Okay, start cooking, guys. I don't need this. And what we're doing is we're just actually cooking the flour. It doesn't take long, but you have to be aware of it. I'm going to turn this off now. I'm going to add some salt and pepper to it because I haven't done it yet. in. Okay, I've got to get this over here again. Here we go again. I just love the way I throw everything around in the kitchen. Positive, well, I'm glad. Yeah, it's gravy time. This is thick. What I want to do, let me put this over here. It's in my way. That's dirty. Okay. Now this gravy is going to be sweet because of what we put in it. And when they warm this up, gravy will just smother it. And that's how I'm doing it. That is going to be dinner. Now when you spill drippings on the edges of stuff, just wipe it up. It's no big deal. See, and it finishes it up nice. Now I could sprinkle parsley on this or a cilantro or anything I wanted, but I don't want to. I'm just going to serve it like this. So now that's the whole dinner for today. So I want all of you to take care. Carrots are good. All right. Yeah, I did it. Positive. Ashy. I like carrots. Madison. Yeah, because my family has different hours. Everybody eats at a different time. Thank you, Shane. Manderson. Thank you, Artro. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Shane. Yeah, you have a great day too, Shane. Queens, New York. Oh, you're not far from me. I'm on what? I'm at, yeah, let's say we'd have to go through Manhattan and Brooklyn to get you in Queens. Sherry, bye. Janie, good morning, but we're getting ready to say bye. So listen, have a great day today. And those cookies that did not work out yesterday, understand that somebody took a lace cookie and put things in it, which causes it to spread out and not holding together. But lace cookies are basically like a butter cookie, really rich with butter. You can taste it. So I am going to try to undo that recipe and redo it so we can make white chocolate chip cookies. Positive? I will. And hi, Meanie, Mary. No, that's pork chops, Mary. Ezra? No, I threw the batter out, the cookies, everything went in the trash. I kept tasting and tasting, and after tasting it, I said, this is making me sick. No, I threw them out. All right, so bye-bye, and you take I almost said you take cookies. No, I'll be working on those cookies, okay? We'll try again. Bye-bye. Enjoy your day to the fullest.